And remember, folks, this is a riff. This is a guy doing a riff. You're the one who clicked on it. I am not forcing you to do a thing. Thank you. And now, onto the show. Chapter 33. Up bright and early, transformed and fully re-energized, it was time. Oh, wow. Getting the monotony done early, huh? This ought to be an easy run today. You ready? Link asked. Mia's nodded. Let's do this. Navi nodded in agreement with them, so they traced up the stairs and entered through the doorway. And apparently, we don't have to deal with the little Link stuff. Because Venus has got to deal with that. Could have skipped half of the whole entire dang temple, couldn't we? Meanwhile, in Tokyo, ellipses, two pretty young teenage girls were at the bank to cash in. And how much are you have to cash in? Asked the clerk. The girls smiled and winked at each other. Oh, nothing much, said one of them and held up a handful of dusties, ellipses, and bolts. The clerk did not look amused. Is this supposed to be a joke? He snapped. I'm sorry, ladies, but you cannot cash these in. Who said we're cashing in? The other lady snickered. Both she and her sister threw the bolts into the floor, ellipses, and the bits magically transformed into far large iron suits wielding on huge axes. I don't know what it says about me that I recognize the Power Rangers Time Force sub-ripoff right here and there. Everyone in the bank ran amok in panic when they saw that not only were those iron things alive, but the two girls transformed into two ugly witches. Hey, that's not... Okay, yeah, they are kind of ugly. Ellipses. Kome and Kotake. Alright, ellipses. Everybody listen up, snarled Kome. If you want to live, give us all your money and you get out, added Kotake. Not so fast, you old hags, came a voice from the door. Everyone turned towards the doors and saw four of the Sailor Senshi and Tuxedo Common standing in the doorway. Didn't anyone ever teach you girls it's not right to steal? Sailor Moon playfully asked. But playfully? Was she teasing them? I guess I will have to teach you. Kiwate! Oshiyokyo? The two witches just looked at each other and snuffed. Sounds like someone doesn't have any respect for the elderly, Kome. Ho 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 ho, ellipses. It certainly doesn't, Katake, ellipses. Ellipses. They began to hover overhead on their broomsticks. Perhaps we should teach them a lesson, Kome. Ho ho ho, ellipses. I agree, Tokate. Ellipses. And they turned to their iron monsters. Iron Knuckles. Oi, Walt. What? We're doing this. We're saying that this is Knuckles. Yep. I'll flip you. Ellipses, destroy them all! They both shouted together, and the monsters swung their axes and began to slowly, yet firmly, yet softly, with a cool, gentle breeze, charge towards them. We'll take care of the menaces. Everyone else run while you can, Tuxedo called. The bankers, the clerks, the bakers, the candlestick makers, and the customers ran out like lightning, and so the battle was old. Sprout! called Sailor Moon, and they each began to go for each of the iron knuckles, as well as the iron songs, its tails, and shadows. Link did warn them about these creatures, and they were about to find out where he was. Jupiter dodged Knuckles' axe swing and tried to jump kick, but recoiled without even facing the creature. Hey, Lucy, I think these guys really are made out of solid steel. She cried. More dodging at the axes followed, because Link had warned him that an iron Knuckles axe had enough power to slice it into solid cement. Mars couldn't use her firepower in the bank, but her karate skills, or her hammer, were no good either. So why don't we just lead them out? I mean, there's nothing keeping... I'd fight, growled Kome. Tuxedo Common took a swing with his can. No, not can, just can. But Kome parried him with her broom, and even if he got close enough to attack her by surprise, the Kentucky was there to support her sister. At least Sailor Moon was able to knock up her boyfriend as well. Still, it seemed to be anyone's fight, but those who would emerge victorious. Meanwhile, ellipses. Strange desert music was heard as Venus and Link emerged in the main entrance of the Ellipses Spirit Temple. Wow, this place looks so much bigger on the outside, said Venus. Oh, just wait, Ellipses, said Link. It'll seem even larger than the outside you saw. They walked onto the stairs in front ahead of them, and Venus first thought that she knew which way to go. Come on, Ellipses, we can get out of the... Let's get this block out of the way, she said, but Link didn't help her at all. Venus, we can't, he said. Take a look at how big this thing is. Venus saw he was right, and the block was more than twice the size of all the other blocks ever pushed. This made it far too heavy for them alone to move. Then how are we supposed to move it? Venus asked. Link told her about his old friend, Naburo. She was a lone wolf thief and second command to Ganondorf. Always he refused to bow to such an evil man and plotted against him. When she and Link first met in their youth, she told him to fetch her a treasure called the Silver Gauntlets. These gloves will give you the power to push or pull heavy things, and at the same time restore half of the power of my gauntlets. Venus was amazed that there was such a powerful treasure, but she wondered where it was and how to get it. Are we sure we can't just speed run and just get the gold gauntlets instead? Makes things so much easier. Link led her to over to the left side of the room, in a crawl space. Is through here? Venus asked, looking confused. Wait a minute, we have to crawl through that thing? But how can we fit through it? We're not, Link said. You are. Her eyes widened. Me? And you're alone? She asked. He nodded, and then told her how the Spirit Temple worked, Ellipses. He first started the Spirit Temple when he was younger, smaller, and when he was actually able to use magical powers to travel through time. But the effect no longer works on me now that I'm fully adapted to adulthood, he replied. If I were to travel back in time now, my body would be able to stand up to the pressure, and I'd probably even die. Bullshit! Still, the hole was too small for Link to get through, but not for Venus. Link told her she had one special power that could help her squeeze through. What? Sometimes I think it's better to just enjoy the bullshit without trying to figure this out. Otherwise, I think I'm going to lose my mind again. Navi, go with her and make sure she stays out of trouble, he said. Navi said. Venus had a sinking feeling she was going to regret this, but trusting in the master's words, she used her spirit power and changed herself into sand. Ellipses, sand that she could sit through the black hole and reconfigure herself on the other side. I don't know whether to applaud for this creative way of actually getting to the youngling part of the temple, be angry that he came up with this excuse, or go insane for the fact that then we are still going to have to get to the small link part of the temple, and I feel like burning this whole entire thing down to the ground! Wait till I get time, Navi said. Venus was amazed, and then got down on her knees and yelled through the hole. Master, Ellipses, are you there? Yes, Ellipses, Link called back. Now listen carefully. Uh-huh. 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 Okay, guys, I hope you caught all that. He has to go through this crawl space, she said, but now he just cursed her for it. Just let's do it, she said. Venus got on her knees and looked through the hole. Couldn't see much, but what she did see was another door, locked and chained. It would require a key she didn't have. Swell. She looked down around the room, thinking maybe she missed something. And that's when she noticed the statue. Hey, this just looks like the other two statues on the entrance. She moved to get a closer look. Please, I want to touch that thing, Ellipses, cried Navi. And why not? But as she laid her hand on the statue, it growled. It actually growled at her, and it began hopping around. What is that thing? It's an arm mouse, said Navi. The only way to beat it is to give it a shock. Right, here goes, Venus said. She tried a jump kick, but as the arm mouse was made out of stone, absolutely no damage was it at all. Not to it, anyway. Yo, Ellipses, that's smart. Simone, alright, let's try this. Venus, Ellipses, crescent beam, Ellipses, smash. That did a trick, for the arm mouse was blown to bits, and the bars on the door were gone. That was easy enough. Navi just rolled her eyes. They walked through the door on the left side of the room. I just realized this is not Navi. This is Tatel. Tatel was snarky. Navi wasn't. Navi was kind and sweet. That's what made the dichotomy between the two so interesting. Because before in the first game, we had Navi, and then we had Tatel. They walked through the door on the left side of the room, and the money is snapped shut behind them. Astolfo's knight dropped down. Piece of cake, she cried. Spear sandstorm, Ellipses, blow! She had fired her sands at the knight's eyes, hoping it would blind him enough for her to sneak past him, Ellipses, but she overlooked something important. Astolfo was a skeleton. It had no eyes, and that red glow was just magic. The sands were useless against him. It would still blind him because he still is using those eyes to see. Nice going, Sandy, Tatel mocked. While the sand didn't weaken, look out! Cried Navi, and cried Tatel. And Venus dodged out of the way just in time. Oh well, let's see, better use plan B, she said. She led the Stalfos all the way to the chasm in the room, and tricked him using his jump attacks, which sent him into the chasm and out of sight. Talk about a big drop. Navi rolled her eyes again. The only way across the chasm to the other side was to make a big sheet of steel drop down and form a bridge. Unfortunately, the only way to get to the other side of it was the only thing she had. She thought it best to save her power. They don't run on magical energy or ki like a dragon. It costs the sheet to drop. Bullseye, she cried. I don't even think Master could have done better. One luck shot doesn't make an archer, Tatel said. But I suppose he did too good. I'll only go now. They walked across the bridge and walked through the door, which was barred up and slammed shut. Ugh, Ellipses, perfect. Ellipses, poor chasms. Venus grunted. The only monster in the entire chamber was an Anubis. The good news was, Link had warned all about those creatures and how to stop them. Bad news was, Venus had no fire attacks of her own, yet she had to learn her mirror force technique. Any suggestions? She asked. Mirror force technique. Well, move, buddy! Monster, said Tatel. Venus rolled her eyes. Any, Ellipses, more helpful? Ellipses 6.
Yeah, Ellipses, dodge!
And they both moved away from Anubis' flames, just as they nearly came into contact. Venus landed near the bar door on the right side of the room. They never did anything this hard in my video game, she thought. So how am I supposed to beat this thing? That's when she realized she was leaning on another crystal switch. Her weight forces against it caused her to shoot up a giant flame geyser right beside her for a few seconds. Wait, Ellipses, that's it, she thought. Now we blew past the Anubis. What are you doing? She cried. Have you figured out a plan by now? Venus grabbed Tatel and held her tight as she stood right behind the spot the fire shot out from. Just trust me, she said. Anubis heard the ground sound of her voice begin to float towards her and Navi. Venus? Tatel cried as the Anubis guy who calls her. Venus? Easy, Ellipses. Easy, Tatel. Just trust me. The Anubis was ready to fire, but as he drew in his breath, Venus quickly rolled to the left, slashed the crystal slits with her bow, and fired an arrow, and just as the geyser shot up. I think Mike is losing track of what character he's writing for. The arrow passed through the fire and struck Anubis through the heart, vaporizing it in a flat as in flames. I knew my year's video game shootings. moving on. You okay, Tail? Ellipses. Tail? But Tail just laid her hands all shaken up. Yeah, Ellipses, sure. She trembled. But the bars on the doors were gone, so they could exit. In the next chamber, Tail warned here. Listen, Ellipses, watch out for the shadows of the monsters that hang out from the ceiling. No, not again. Not woman. Ugh. Stirs? I swear every time I lose track of all sense of time and reality. Where am I? But suddenly the witches got a very disturbing feeling. They could sense that something was going wrong with the spirit temple back in the desert. Kale, Ellipses, do you feel that? I sure do that. Kotake. The wizards knew they had to hurry back at once. They couldn't let anything happen to their precious temple, so they mounted their brooms and began to fly away. We'll meet again, Spider-Man! I just hope Venus and Master get back soon, cried Mars. We can't keep this up forever. And today's lesson is all about how to handle things together. And today's story, and today's song is a villain's. I know that your powers of retention are as wet as a warthog's backside, but thick as you are. Pay attention! This is a meaning of pride. It's clear from your vacant expressions. The lights are not all up on stairs, but we're talking kings and successions. Even you can't be caught unawares. So, prepare for the chance of a lifetime. Be prepared for sensational news. Finding new era is tiptoeing nearer. So where do we feature? Just listen to teacher. I know it sounds sorted, but you'll be rewarded when we last have been paying my dues. And injustice deliciously squared. Be prepared. It's great that we'll soon be elected. We're a king that'll be one adored. Of course, quid pro quo is expected. We'll take certain duties on board. The future is littered with prizes. And though I'm the main addressee, the point I must emphasize is, you won't get a sniff at me! So prepare for the coup of the century. Be prepared for the murkiest scam. Meticulously planning, tenaciously spanning decades of denial and simply what I'll be king, undisputed, disputed, diluted, and seen for the wonder I am. Yes, my teeth and ambitions are bad. Be prepared. Yes, our teeth and ambitions are bad. Be prepared. All that to do that one song. Yep.